I have a little confession for everyone. And before anyone gets too upset, please just wait and hear me out about this. I kind of fell out of love with lighting a fire when I went camping. And as I said, just wait before you make any decisions about me, before you start commenting bad things down below. Just hold on and watch the rest of this video because I promise I'm gonna redeem myself. So I didn't actually make kind of a conscious decision to say that I hate campfires anymore, because that's just not the case. Everyone loves a good campfire. Even in the middle of summer, I love a good campfire in the middle of the night. But I just got kind of sick of having to make a fire all the time. The typical campfire that you see around a campsite looks something like this. And half the time when I pull up at camp, all the sites that are around a campfire like this are taken. And I really just hate the thought of building a whole new campfire somewhere where I'm going to burn a heap of grass or where I have to dig a big sand hole. It just becomes a bit of a pain in the butt, and really I hate just kind of damaging the land around because I want a fire. So I just kind of gave up after a while, and really for the last kind of 12 to 18 months, I just haven't had a campfire. So now a lot of people will think I'm crazy about kind of destroying another little area of grass or digging up a little bit of an area of sand when I'm camping, that, you know, you just do it. But in this area that I'm at right now, which is a small little campsite, it's kind of 20 meters wide by 20 meters long. There are 13 of these little campfires set up. And every campsite I go to these days, it's a similar story. There's multiple campfires in the one campground. Now, I understand that a lot of people could be camping here and they all want a fire, but I just hate the thought that we're destroying our campsites by littering these campfires everywhere. And in most of the campfires that you walk around to, there's broken bottles, there's leftover tins, stubbies, all of that kind of stuff. So it's just a rubbish pit for a lot of people, and it's not a good sight, to be honest with you. So I kind of stopped and refused to do it. So we're in the middle of winter here on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and I went camping about a month ago, and I really needed a fire. So I built one and realized how much I really miss having a fire by my camp at all times. And that led me down this path of finding the ultimate campfire setup that is portable, that doesn't destroy any of the environment that we're in, and is just badass all around. So let's dive into what's in these bags below and check out what I believe is the best campfire setup you can get. So there was a few factors that I had to really think about when buying bits and pieces to set up the ultimate campfire pit. The first was portability. So to address this, it was vitally important that whatever I got was flat packed, or as flat as possible, and extremely light. And as you can see here, these units pack completely flat and are very light. The next thing that I had to look at was price. Now, I wasn't too kind of on the bargain end of things, but I didn't want to go and blow a fortune on some crazy campfire setup. So I really had a budget of between $500 and $1,000 to make this system work. The third thing for me was being able to cook easily on whatever I set up. There's nothing better than throwing a steak on top of a fire, and I didn't want to have to carry around extra things to cook with if I was going to carry around a fire pit at all times. And the fourth and final thing was making sure that it was kind of environmentally friendly, environmentally safe. I didn't want a fire pit that would be throwing sparks everywhere, so I'd have to worry about dry scrub around me. And I didn't want a fire pit that when I left where I was camping at, it kind of left a burn mark on the ground or anything like that. So let's jump in and take a look first at this bag here, which is my fire pit. This is a Dacha large fire pit. It's stainless steel, and as you can see, it packs up nice and flat and comes in a pretty decent bag, which is pretty rare these days. So what you see around me right now is what you get when you purchase a Dacha large fire pit. But there are a few little extra added accessories that I've got to make this fire pit kind of combo work really well. The first is this here, which is a Snow Peak fire stand. Now you can buy these from Drifter online, and it's just really a base plate that enables the fire pit to sit up a little bit higher off the ground. And you'll see why I have this in a moment. The next is a set of fire tongs. Now these have to be one of the best things I've ever bought for a campfire. There's nothing worse than trying to move a log or move some coals around in the fire, and you have to use another log to do it at the same time, and crap goes everywhere and you end up knocking logs off your fire. These fire tongs are extremely tough, extremely light, pack away to nothing, stay in the same bag as the fire pit, and they're relatively cheap too. I got these again from Drifter. So the last thing I keep in this bag is this. This is a Windbreak that is made by Drifter. Now, Drifter make these to suit the Snow Peak, I think they are, fire pits, which to be honest are nearly identical to the Dacha fire pits. This fits on the Dacha large fire pit perfectly, and it's very, very, very handy. The best part about having this Windbreak with me is that it really doesn't matter where I set up camp. Before, when you had to set up and worry about building a fire, you had to think, okay, if I set the car up here, it's gonna block the wind, or I need to get some rocks to block the wind, or if I dig a big hole to put my fire down into, that will help block the wind. None of that even matters anymore when I have this in the bag. If there is even the slightest breeze or the smoke is blowing in my face, I can just set this up in 5 seconds and problem solved. So the last thing I have is in this bag, and this is a brand new product from, again, Drifter. I'll leave links to all the stuff, guys, in the description area below, so if you want to have a look at anything, just go down there. This is the Drifter Stockton fire table, and it is probably my favorite thing about this campfire setup, and you'll see in a sec, once I've set it all up, just how good this little unit is. Let's start setting this up. So with the base of the fire pit, the stand, there are 2 sides to it. Once you clip it together, there's a medium side and a large side. It's marked on the base here itself. The Dacha fire pit actually fits nicely in the medium side. So you throw that side up, throw on the base plate of the fire. This is the actual fire pit. It just folds open like that and clips in place. So this little trivet just drops into the base there. I'm not actually sure what that's for, but the fire pit works. I throw it in every time. Then the other thing left is the cooking part of the fire pit. So this is the grill stand, and as you can see, there are 3 little levels here, and that just effectively allows you to raise this cooking section of the fire pit up and down. So you don't have to worry about your fire's too big, it's too hot. You can lift the grill up, or if your fire has burnt down quite a lot and you only have a small amount of coals, you can lower this down really, really easy. It just simply latches onto the side of the fire pit like that. And the stainless steel grill top just goes over like that. Very simple. Now with the Stockton fire table, it's super light, super easy. It's all aluminium, completely heat proof. Just fold it open. Throw a couple of these latches over. Pop the legs out. Clip the stabilizers in. And that just goes over the top like that. So that's the setup with the fire table. As you can see, it has a beautiful cutout that's just the right size for the fire pit in the middle. Having the base stand, as I said earlier, lifts the fire pit up, and it lifts it up just to the right height so it's level or about level with the Drifter Stockton fire table. Now the best part about this fire table is, because that fire pit sits at the same height, this fire table doesn't get hot at all. So if you've got kids with you, or if you accidentally lean on it while the fire's going, and if the fire's been going for a long time, this will not heat up. It won't burn you, it won't cause any problems. I leave my tongs here. When I'm cooking on the fire pit, I put other utensils here. Nothing gets hot, I grab them whenever I want. It's all good. The last thing that comes with this fire table is this kind of pole. It's adjustable like this. It has these little hooks on top. It really easily latches into the fire table like that. These little hooks pop out and bend down like so. And the idea behind that is that you can hang a little camp light or something off there. In all honesty, I haven't actually used this pole yet because I find if the fire's going, there's enough light around. I don't really want to hang a camp light above the heat of the flame, but I've kept it in the kit because it's lightweight, it's simple, and one day it might come in handy. Now finally, we can talk about the Windbreak. I've taken the grill top off, which is really quick, easy to do. You can do it while the fire's going. Just be careful because it can get quite hot. But once it's off, you have kind of complete reign over the fire. You can build it up, you can get a lot of heat, but again, wind becomes a factor. So let's talk about the Windbreak here from Drifter. It's really, really easy to use. It sits onto the fire pit really easily like that. It does cut down the size of the fire that you can have when it's like this. So typically when I use it, I actually sit it back on the fire table and put it kind of like that. It works a treat. It really does block a heap of wind. It just, honestly, I can't, this is the ultimate fire camp setup for me. It really works an absolute treat. So everyone, that's about it. This is my campfire setup that I take now everywhere with me when I go camping. This really is the ultimate setup for me if I want to have a fire, even if I'm not going to cook on the fire and I'm going to use a camp oven off to the side, or I'm going to use a gas cooker. This system just works. It works really, really well. I don't have to worry about ash and sparks and everything flying around and burning grass or anything near this fire pit. Because it's up off the ground, I'm not going to burn a big hole into the ground or anything like that. It's just a very simple setup, very quick, easy, you can take it anywhere with you, and does everything you really need a campfire to do. So I've shown you all my ultimate campfire kit, and as I said earlier, the links to all the little bits and pieces here will be down in the description below. I'd love to see how you guys camp and cook and use your campfires when you're out and about. So jump over to my Instagram, hit follow on me, and tag me in some campfire setups of yours so I can check them out. If you have any tips or tricks or suggestions about how to improve this setup for me, bang them down into the comments below. Happy cooking, everyone, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.